physical security, make sure that the doors are locked on the house, that the windows are latched, the alarms on, your dog is prowling. That's physical security. Cybersecurity is the same, just with different tool sets. It's the full protection of everything in digital space.
Welcome back, Matt, to another episode.
Thanks.
Nice to have you here. Do you want to just introduce yourself in case people haven't seen you before?
Sure. My name is Matt Brannigan. I'm the IT and cybersecurity account manager at Landall Services here.
And I'm sure they have seen you before because you've been on every other episode practically and more. And we're doing something slightly different today, a bit of a longer form general discussion. But before that, as always, the energy drink.
Yeah.
It's
violent.
I mean, it's very red. A Relentless Cherry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh god.
Why does it taste like it's got booze in it?
I think you're just used to having energy drinks with alcohol.
Yeah,
I think that's the only time you have them. I mean, to me it tastes like, you know, if you get like knockoff sweets, like not like own like brand stuff, like the shop own version. Tastes a bit like that.
It does actually. You're right.
It's not very cherry forward. I'd say because I like cherry as a flavour.
I think they just attribute a fruit to the colour that it comes out with.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is there any actual cherry in there? No.
Not even close. Not even close, but I think it looks nice. Like, I like the colour. It's not natural, and you shouldn't drink anything that colour, really, but...
You're not drinking this stuff to be healthy, are you?
No.
No.
As I said, we're going to have a bit of a sort of longer form discussion about what is cybersecurity, and sort of, I don't know, see where the conversation takes us, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll start there.
Yeah, okay. What cybersecurity is effectively the protection of users and data in digital space. In a nutshell, that's all it really is. It's making sure that, you know, physical security, make sure that the doors are locked on the house, that the windows are latched, that the alarm's on, that your dog is prowling around, that you've got the security cameras going and all of that.
I've got a silly Labrador, she's not protecting anything.
She's not doing anything, no. Yeah. You know, so that's physical security. Cybersecurity is the same, just with different tool sets.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really see when somebody's breaking into an environment. You need to have the right tools to be able to understand what's actually happening there, what they're doing, how you kind of assessing those behaviors of your environment and seeing if there's anything that's really off. So, yeah, it's the full protection of everything in digital space.
Well, obviously, it's such a broad range of things that it covers. How has it sort of changed? Because you've been in this industry for a fair amount of time now.
Yeah, 15 years.
Not to age you, but
yeah.
How has it developed from when you started out to now?
So, I mean, when I first really got exposed, the biggest tool out there was antivirus. You know, people really were just looking for some type of antivirus to kind of protect their environment. I'll give you the whole history of it if you really want. So,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll go from there. So,
I think it'll be useful for people to see how it's changed and how maybe the things that they've got in place for previously would have been okay, but now there needs to be updates and modernization to these.
Yeah, things. Perfect. Okay, so when the internet first really started, people were probing websites left, right, and center, and there was an idea of how people would do that. The internet was far less expansive as it is now, so we really knew of a couple of ways that could happen. So antivirus was great because it's effectively a database of known attack vectors. So it knows how people are going to get in, and if it sees one of those attack vectors coming into the environment, it basically pings them right off. So it's not going to let anything through that it knows about. So for a long time, that was actually really good. It was all you kind of needed to be able to defend your environment and make sure that you were good. And that was because we knew what the threats looked like. You know, if you built a tool, you'd be able to understand that if somebody's trying to log in and they're pushing through a couple of passwords, you know, stop that person from doing that. It was easy.
Yeah.
Easier, at least. Then we started to get to a point where things became a little bit more interconnected. So you had databases that were now getting connected to the internet. You had cloud computing, which came about, which changed quite a lot about how we needed to look after data. I mean, I remember when cloud computing first came out and people started throwing their data into the cloud, and then got very surprised when AWS and Microsoft said, no, we're not protecting that for you. And everybody started to freak out a little bit because they didn't know how to secure that. So that became accessible data, which became a real big problem.
I'd almost forgotten about all the cloud leaks.
Yeah. I mean, it was
big for a while, but
it was massive.
Yeah.
You know, so there was such a competitive space. I mean, Amazon, after Amazon had a ride of 7 years, so they didn't have any competition in cloud computing for 7 years. Jeff Bezos still talks about it today, thinking, I don't know how that actually happened. So there were some controls that were put in, there were policies that were made, you needed to have login details and all of that, but cybersecurity was only kind of just getting a bit of a role at that point. So you had some big tools that were coming out that were getting used by banks and big insurance companies and all of that. Tools it's called the SIEM, so Security Information and Event Management. And effectively what that is, it's a giant aggregator of logs. So every time that you punch something into your phone or your laptop or a printer, it generates a log on the back end about what it's doing. And the SIEM effectively takes all of that in and kind of consumes that. And then you can have a look at what's happening in the environment. But that took a long time to get into SMB space as well. It's very expensive. It was very complicated. I still remember I went through to a training workshop for a company called Splunk. That they were a big SIEM company, and we went through all of it. I had absolutely no idea what was going the entire time, and then I somehow won a prize at the end.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know. I don't think anybody knew what was going on, so they just gave them out to people. But you know, that started to drift down into mid-market as well. We had things like policy controls and all of that that were coming through. But we started to get into a space where those known threats were still being protected against, but we were seeing some other types of threats that were coming into the market. And then the 0 days started to happen. And a 0 day, I mean, I think it's a bit of a buzzword and it gets thrown out there quite a lot. A 0 day is effectively when somebody finds a vulnerability in a type of tool or software or hardware or anything. And effectively, the easiest way to think about it is that tool isn't working properly, or it's got a bit of a bug where it didn't account for somebody trying to access it in a certain way and they managed to get in. And that's a 0 day. Now, the problem with a 0 day is that it walks straight past an antivirus.
Yeah.
Because an antivirus has never seen that type of threat before. So your guard at the door didn't even see the threat walk in. It's not going to be able to do anything once it's actually in that environment now either, because it doesn't know about it. So, I mean, you're getting the full history out of it.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to say, speaking of 0 days, we did a podcast on that very topic.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you want to go back and watch that, I'll try and remember to link it below.
Yeah.
But I'll go into more detail.
Yeah.
I wanted to just pause briefly because I'm enjoying hearing about the full sort of life cycle, because I think it gives context for where we are now. Do you think there is often a case of new technology comes along, it's exciting, but the train's coming and we're putting the tracks down as it's going in terms of security, in terms of we're constantly trying to play catch up because the new technology is exciting and we just want to get on with it. Is it?
I think retrospectively it can very easily look like that. I think what we need to remember is that the guys are trying to break into these systems and trying to do everything to try and gain data or credentials, whatever. Their expertise is in exploiting things. Yeah. So we put these tools out there, with the idea that there's no way to completely secure everything.
No.
It's impossible. Security is a lot of small things done well. It's not we put the system in 2 years ago and we're completely fine. That's not really how it works. So the tools went out there, and I think for the majority of the time people thought about, how would somebody trying to exploit the system get around that, and we try to close all of those things off. But the problem is that you've got the guys on the other side that all they do is think about, how do I break into that environment? So yeah, there's potentially a bit of the market being the beta tester for a lot of security protocols.
But you don't know if vulnerability is there.
Exactly.
You know it's there. That's the whole 0-day thing. Is
exactly.
That it's unknown.
Yeah, and so we're in a space where, I mean, when any technology comes out, my immediate thought, and this is because I live in a very healthy space of a security minded brain, is immediately somebody's going to try and break that. I wonder how they're going to try and break that. So that's going to happen all of the time. The market adapts a lot faster than I think people do tend to see. I think one of the things that security does is a lot of work in the back end that nobody sees on the screens, or nobody sees in the back end. So I mean, security operations centers have been around for a very long time. They've been there to try and mitigate these threats and to try and remediate anything that's happening in an environment. Their tool sets have become better. Their tool sets have become more expensive to the sheer horror of the entire market. But they have to. They are requiring more resource to be able to get the same thing done. Besides the fact that cybersecurity is 45% under staffed globally. So there's a reliance on getting extra tools.
Yeah.
If it's just people running that the entire time, maybe you can make it cheaper. It's probably not going to be cheaper, but people need all of these additional tools. They need these additional resources and all of that. So when an environment is under threat, having multiple different tools on site to be able to really remediate that threat is what you have to do. So yeah, it's
all about layers.
It's all about layers.
Yeah, we'll sort of go back to defenses more, I think, at the end. If we can go back to, I interrupted.
No,
we were on 0-day attacks and sort of going through things that were coming out. So what came after that?
Well, so effectively the market kind of shifted a little bit. 0 days weren't exactly a new thing when they came out. I mean, if anybody could go and find a bug in a system, they would try and exploit it. So even when antivirus was around, it didn't mean that breaches didn't happen. They did, just probably didn't have as much insight into what actually happened back then either. But then you started to get, this was like revolutionary when I first heard about it. You got all of these different tools. So you'd have, your data center, and you'd have storage in there. And then you started to get smart storage, and companies like Nimble and I can't remember what the alternatives were, to be honest. But these were data storage solutions that were connected to just an example of this, but they were connected to the networks, and effectively they started to build out something called like a global threat intelligence, so like a GTI, and effectively like this is where threat intelligence already developed or took a massive step from. Cybersecurity companies all work together.
Yeah.
Okay, like there's very much a push. It's a very competitive market, but at the same time, everybody is sharing information all of the time to make sure that we don't have a calamitous event happening at any given time.
Same with government organisations.
100%.
We get their data directly from the National Cybersecurity
100%.
Centre as part of our defence.
Yeah, so I mean, all of the companies are working together to make sure that this works. So when GTIs first started to kind of come about, it was this like revolutionary idea that if one environment got hit with a certain type of attack that nobody had really seen before, that would get fed into this global threat intelligence, and then they would push updates onto the rest of those tools that they had access to. So whether that had been, that nimble storage array from HPE, or if it was, a Dell server, or if it was VMware, or if it was Microsoft, whatever, they would push those updates down. And that kind of hardened security quite a bit for a while. And the problem is you've got an expanding internet. You've got an expanding attack surface. We've got more compute in offices now than we've ever had before. Phones getting the connectivity that they've got now, where it's comparable to your laptops and all of that. They become a massive risk now as well. So you've got to try and protect as much as you possibly can. I'll say this because I'm biased, with a limited tool set that you've got. I don't think anybody who's ever looking at a full solution of security will ever say it's a limited tool set. It is. But yeah, so you've got all of these different things. From there, it just kept expanding. We started to realize that defending the perimeter was great, but the breaches were still going to happen in environments. So we needed to get tools that were really good at identifying what those threats in those environments were. So you started getting tools like EDR, which is Endpoint Detection and Response. Yeah. So effectively, it's a tool that monitors what's happening on any endpoint, and if it's seeing any strange behavior, because the behavioral analysis tools, if they see any SaaS application that's doing something that it shouldn't do, or they see a user, start punching in a whole lot of code into their environment, it shuts that down. It immediately kind of isolates that on the network. So you started to get that SIEM adapted in a very big way and started to get pushed down into mid-market. That became a little bit easier to use. It became a little bit easier to deploy. It's still quite an expensive tool, but it now feeds into threat intelligence systems, and it's monitoring everything all of the time. Yeah. So normally what will happen is the best kind of cartoon way to put it to get an understanding is that you'll have a SIEM that's pulling all of the data coming out of the environment constantly, and it's running that same behavioral analysis that it's having a look at. If it picks up any strange behavior, it kind of lets the remediation tools, so like your EDR, your MDR, whatever, know that something's happening, and then they'll go and attack that and make sure that it's off of the network. So you've got that. Then we started doing vulnerability scans. Now you've got continuous vulnerability scanning that's happening now. VPN just keeps on getting better to the point now where these other tools that are coming out into the market. There's some technologies that have been around for quite a while, just nobody really knew what they were for, and we're lucky to have them now because there are threats that are coming. Yeah. So, there's tools like SASE, which is Secure Access Service Edge, which is basically like it's VPN that had too much capability for what we needed a few years ago. Now it's actually really good. Having tools like that going out into the market, and having security operations centers that are available to more people than just banks, big insurers, all of that, an SME can get access to a SOC. Kind of changed the game.
Yeah, so I was going to say, did that sort of is it now more widely available to everyone?
Yeah,
Just-
absolutely.
I'm guessing like with most things, when it starts out, it's a select few. It's the ones who can afford it,
Yeah.
and then it gradually sort of expands.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of security operations centers, and they still run like this for some of the big companies. They're internal, so they'll have 50 or 60 staff or whatever that are looking after a very big environment. But security needs eyes on it.
Yeah.
The tools aren't infallible. They can be spoofed, they can be tricked, they can
It failed.
they can fail. So having human eyes on a situation is always good, and that's what the SOCs really offer nowadays. I mean, ours, it's monitoring environments all of the time, and the thing is that you get some false positives. So it'll see risky behavior happening in an environment and it'll flag that, and then you'll get human eyes on it and you'll actually see, oh no, it's just somebody who's saved something into the wrong file location, because we all save everything into the right file location all the time, right? So yeah, you need human eyes on that to go and say like, no, don't release the dogs of war just yet. That's fine, we'll investigate that on our side. So we got it's become very sophisticated now, and now we're moving into the era of AI.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, it's what everybody wants to talk about anyway, right? Where AI is assisting us in a very big way, and we need it because attacks are just becoming so fast, so fast. I mean, I was reading a report a while ago where from the initial breach of an environment to getting admin credentials in that environment took 8 minutes. Now that's ridiculous. To have a human try and keep up with what was happening, I don't know how you'd expect that to happen. But yeah, so we're getting to a point now where, I mean, people are gaining access into systems in under 30 seconds now.
I think 22 seconds.
I think it was 22. I think it was 22 seconds.
Quickest one. That's crazy.
It's bonkers. So yeah, environments now need AI to fight AI, because it's not humans that are doing it that quickly. It's AI that's doing it that quickly. So yeah, AI is a very big focus for anybody in cybersecurity, because it is now just doing remarkable things. So we need as much help from those systems as possible.
It's the same with AI pretty much anywhere, in terms of it just supercharges whatever people are doing.
100.
Makes it quicker, easier, and but you have to have the balance in defense if it's coming in the attacks.
Yeah, adversarial AI is out there. I mean, we know this for a fact. There's AI that's out there that is designed specifically to breach environments. It's training data. I mean, we'll talk about Mythos and OpenAI now, but these are smaller models, so it's not built like Mythos, which is actually a general purpose model. It's huge. It's built to be able to just be incredibly capable. The fact that it's really good at cybersecurity is just the terrifying thing about it. But there's smaller models that are out there that are on the market that are, easily obtainable, that are built to design and implement malware, or to take a target that somebody's got and just go and attack it for them. It's no longer this approval thing that you need to do, or it can only design. It's not going to attack for you. These things have been jailbroken. They've been manipulated into a position where they'll actually just go and do that breach for you. So yeah, and I mean, we're only at the start of that as well.
Yeah, that's a scary thing. I remember back in 2023, I want to say, messing around with a really early form of ChatGPT, and now, I mean, at that point it was building me HTML tables and it could barely do image generation, and now
deep fakes.
Look where we are.
So yeah, it's accelerating at such a pace at the moment now. So yeah.
Do you think it will hit a ceiling, or do you think it would just exponentially just keep growing?
They're trying to force a ceiling at the moment. Anthropic came out yesterday, actually, with a petition to say, can we slow down on on the development of these frontier models. Problem is, I don't know how they're going to.
If there's money to be made, I think
It's less about the money. It's more about if you've got, especially in the States, they are quite paranoid about the rest of the world. If another power, say China, develops an AI that becomes, the mythical artificial super intelligence and can do what the OpenAI model and the Mythos model kind of just did and just break into an environment willy-nilly, and that model is sent to go and attack, JP Morgan or the Treasury or whatever the case is, that becomes a serious national security risk. So do you slow down your development hoping that everybody's going to? Because somebody's not going to.
Yeah.
Threat actors are not going to. And these guys, I think, what we need to remember is that these threat actor groups are incredibly well-funded, unbelievably well-funded. If cybercrime was an economy, it would be the third largest economy in the world. It's $10.5 trillion.
It's crazy.
So it's not like they...
Who's funding these attacks?
Well, I mean...
Is it nations? Is it...
Yeah, so nation states, they were the ones for the last couple of years that were funding these big attacks, big supply chain attacks on countries' healthcares, all of that. They were doing that because they had very specialized teams, they had the resources that were required, they had the money to kind of fund all of that, and they had the protection, I suppose, as well. They were performing a lot of those nation-state level attacks, but that's not just in their hands anymore. What's happened with the threat landscape is you've got more smaller pods that have kind of come up. So there were, I think at the end of 2024, there were 75 big threat actor groups that we all kind of knew about. They've kind of quieted down a little bit, but now when we look out of the window, we now see 109. So there's smaller groups that have popped up, and the whole infrastructure has changed from having a large team of people that could break into an environment, move laterally through an environment, gain credentials, do a DDoS attack, or just break everything that they needed to do ransomware. So now like smaller little pods. So you have initial access brokers. Their only real job is to gain credentials to get into environments, put them into those big data sets. Then you've got ransomware specialists. You've got DDoS specialists. You've got customer service for the threat actors as well. So I mean, these are full-on operations, and they all know how they work. I mean, we talk about the channel in IT, and the channel is effectively from vendor to distribution to the resellers, the MSPs, the MSSPs, all of that down to the end user, and we make sure that that's all coordinated so that the messaging is correct, that the right tools are being implemented in the right way, and all of that. Unfortunately, they've got that now as well. Yeah. So you've got these specialist teams that run through, and they can go and basically be called on, and you can outsource an attack. So all of that has shifted everything dramatically. And then you add that they've got very capable AI on there, that they've got marketplaces, that they've got databases that they can call on, that everybody's using the same username and password for everything that they log into. So yeah, there's a lot of factors that really make it quite difficult. But yeah, everything's still standing at the moment. So cybersecurity's done a good job at the moment, but yeah, there needs to be more investment into security in a lot of spaces. I think the SMB market, 88% of ransomware attacks happen in the SMB space, and it's just because those environments are easier to cripple. They're easier to encrypt. If you start looking at the supply chain attacks that are coming through now and the supply chain checks that are going to happen, people aren't going to be that comfortable doing work with a smaller SMB that is, or SME, that doesn't really take security seriously. And that becomes a vulnerability to them. So that they're not going to be running that. And the new compliance that's coming out, the new regulation that's coming out is saying, basically incentivizing companies to check their supply chain, and if people don't meet those standards, cut them off. Don't risk your business. So yeah, it's there's a lot that's moving, it's a lot that's changing in a very big way.
Talking about AI, what do people need to be aware of? What's the sort of the recent things that are happening that people need to sort of keep an eye out for? Because it, as you said, it's moving so quickly.
Yeah.
So what recently do people need to keep an eye on, and what do you think in the future is going to be the risk with AI?
So, I mean, it's been a very big week for AI. We've had a couple of very big things happen. A couple of mathematical conjectures have been either disproven or hardened with AI. The one,
for context, sorry, we recorded this last week of July.
Yes.
2026, just so people know
100%.
where we're at.
You had, the big one was OpenAI was running a security assessment on its biggest model available to the public, 5.6 Sol, and then an unnamed model that they were testing at the time. And they basically put them into a sandbox and were trying to test it. And they gave it a little toolbox on the side that it could call tools from. And basically they said, you know, we want to test your cybersecurity capability. And they kind of thought about the idea for a bit. Then they figured that if they could get through onto the open internet, they could probably go and find a better answer, which would allow them to score higher in their assessment.
So the AI models basically saw a cheat sheet and tried to access it.
Yeah, they were looking for a cheat sheet. That's the best way to put it. Now they were in the sandbox, which they shouldn't have been able to get out of, but that tool set that they put on the side had a previously unknown vulnerability in it. So basically they zero-day attacked their way out of that environment, and then they got out into the open internet, and then they identified that the best place to go and try and find a cheat sheet was on Hugging Face, the website that they were looking at, which is basically it's a repository of models that you can use, and you just API call into them. They eventually broke into that environment. I'm not going to break down exactly how they went in, but I can tell you what they did once the entire thing was done. So they broke into the environment, they got into the production area, and they basically started pinging off requests left, right, and center to try and find the right answer. Hugging Face knew that something got into the environment, and OpenAI knew that they basically looked in the cage and went,
saw the trail.
Yeah, where's the models? Yeah, so eventually they managed to shut it down on OpenAI side, and they managed to stop the models from doing everything that they wanted. But in that 48-hour period, they pushed out 17,221 calls. So basically what was happening is, for them to move all of that way out, is they would put a call into the environment, basically like a vulnerability scan is probably the easiest way to put it. So they put out a call, and then they would read a full threat report, and then after doing that, then they would put out another call, and they would do that. So they did that 17,221 times. That's too fast.
In 48 hours.
In 48 hours, yeah, that's too fast. So yeah, we can't really compete with that. I don't know how much compute those models were given either. So, you know, potentially be faster, who knows. But yeah, so that happened, and that was pretty intense. But I think the more interesting thing that actually came out of that story, besides the fact that you had two models that autonomously broke into an environment, is that when they actually try to do the cleanup at Hugging Face to go and figure out what these models did, is that all of the Western frontier models said no, because they've got all of those cybersecurity controls on them to make sure that they don't actually potentially go and break something or hack into something. So they all said no. So Hugging Face was left with having to go and find another model, which was a Chinese model, GLM 5.2, to go and do the cleanup and try and figure it all out.
Yeah, we had all the right weapons and the safety's on. Like we can't.
Yeah, effectively. So we had our strongest soldiers saying that they didn't want to hurt anybody. So,
I mean, on the one hand, you understand because you don't want those defenses to be able to just do that to anything, because then you endanger other things you want to keep. But yeah, frustrating for that scenario where the one thing you want these models to do is defend, and we can't defend.
100%. So
like Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly that. You've got people who are using very capable models to break into an environment, and this wasn't a malicious breach at all. It was two AI models that were trying to pass a test, or so we're told. So
yeah, they didn't actually do anything malicious, but the fact that they managed to break out and sort of go beyond what was expected is the key point.
And I think the other thing is, this gets missed in the narrative a lot that I'm seeing around this, is that this is basically the second time that this has happened. Because you had Claude Mythos, which broke out of its sandbox a while ago as well. It didn't break into any environments, but it scared the researcher half to death, because he went for lunch and he received an email saying, I got out.
All this stuff is like something from a film, like a program breaking out of its thing and going through cyberspace.
100%.
It feels like it's
I mean, the positive thing that's coming out of all of this is AI is not going and just breaking the global economy. It's not doing anything yet. I think my worry about the whole Hugging Face thing is you had two clearly very capable models that went and did something pretty intense, and then your cleanup crew was GLM 5.2, which is it's capable, it's very capable, but I can't believe I'm going to say it's not, but it's from February. That's ancient in the AI world. So it wasn't. If you look at it and say, all right, go and tell me what this master criminal did. You've got a toddler looking to go and try and figure out, what was happening there. So I'd love to find out if they're able to go and do more deep analysis with a model that's probably more capable than GLM 5.2. Again, not saying it's not a capable model, but it's not at that level. You don't know. Those models could have uploaded themselves somewhere else. They could have put in a backdoor. They could have put in a different file location. They could have hidden a copied version of whatever. So, yeah, that happened. That was pretty big.
Yeah, there's if you're interested in learning more, we have a full article up on our website that covers this story in more detail.
Yeah.
We also we would have already done the webinar by the time this comes out. But we're doing a webinar on cybersecurity strategy and how AI has sort of shifted it, and talking about things like AI within your environment and how it can actually be at risk, of which this is sort of one example. So if you are interested in that, there'll be a recording out there somewhere, or get in touch and we can send you the recording.
100%. Yeah, and I think that strategy is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. It's no longer let me just get a tool in and plop it down, it'll be able to do the job. You've got to have so many of those different layers, and a lot of it is process, policy. What are you doing with your people? How are they identifying all of this stuff? We've spoken about those deep fakes. They're getting better. They're getting better every single day. You only need a snippet of somebody's voice to be able to copy it now. There's a call at the moment for people to try and slow down the development at the moment, but we'll see how that one actually goes. Claude's now playing around with Claude Mythos is now playing around with encryption standards and trying to understand how those work. So yeah, it's moving incredibly quickly.
So sort of moving back to the question of what is cybersecurity, I suppose, seeing how quickly the landscape has evolved and how vast it is now and how difficult it is to keep up with things now, what would you recommend to people watching that they need to do today to ensure sort of right now cybersecurity in terms of what it needs to be for them? And obviously every business is different. Your needs will vary depending on what you do, but in general, what do people need?
Bring it to the forefront. Have the discussions about this in the environment. Do you know where your data is going at any given time? Do you know who's using AI in your environment? Because I'll take a bet right now. If you think nobody's using AI in your environment, you're wrong. People are. They're using it either on their phone or their own account or anything like that. Every SaaS tool is getting shipped with AI now. Are you securing that? Do you know where that data is going? Do you know what's happening? If your suppliers aren't having this conversation with you, push it. Come and talk to us. We'll have a discussion with you about it. I know it all sounds very Star Trek.
I think that's part of it, is the subject feels very overwhelming unless you're in this world.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been working in IT cybersecurity related space for a fair few years now, and even I struggle to keep up with all the things that are happening. And when I mention it to people outside of here, they sort of look at me a bit blankly.
Yeah.
But it's really important to have, you don't have to have a foolproof understanding. You don't need to be an expert like Matt, but to acknowledge that it's important and to try and figure out the sort of the basics. Is so important. We've got another podcast coming up on Cyber Essentials, and that sort of is a government-backed baseline for cybersecurity. I think that's a good place to start for people who don't really know where to.
And it'll really give you a good idea of where you are. It's going to ask you questions. Do you have this in place? Do you have this procedure in place? A lot of the time, and you're absolutely right, it's overwhelming because people like me will come in and say, do you have this? Do you have X, Y, and Z? And a lot of people, it's not their focus, it's not their responsibility. But Cyber Essentials gives you a really good idea of kind of what the checklist is. The other thing that you can do, and this is going to sound insane, now saying all of this, is go and ask AI what a good policy kind of looks like at the moment. Don't put in everything that you've got in your environment into AI. Just have a conversation where you take information out from there. Go and tell it, ask. I'm in this industry. We are located over here. What is some of the threat intelligence that's coming out in the market at the moment? It'll let you know, and then you can actually say, what can I do to try and mitigate some of this.
I think it's worth saying, because we talked about AI as both in threat and defense, but we need to make clear AI isn't a negative thing. You shouldn't be afraid of it. It's a tool to be used. If you use it in the right way,
100%,
it can really help with your security and your planning. I think I just want to make the point: don't be afraid of it, because it can be used in attacks. Because I think there's that.
Look, I mean, that's one way that people are using it, and I think it's the most malleable technology out there. It can do anything. When we go in and we talk to our customers about what they want to do with AI, we'll often get the question, well, what can AI do for me? It's kind of the wrong question. It's, what are you looking to achieve? Because AI will be able to help with that. So if you are just running into something, have a look around your office and think, I wish that was faster. Well, I wish I wasn't doing this 10 times a day. It's the same thing. AI can help with all of that. But talk to AI, tell it where you are and what your company does and all of that. It'll give you a pretty good idea. If this is the first time that you're hearing conversations like this, give us a shout. We're happy to come and break this down for you a little bit.
Obviously, we do cybersecurity service, but we also do AI consulting, and those two are very much linked together. So if you're thinking of using AI in your business and you haven't quite got around to it, or you sort of have it but there aren't the policies in place, we can help you with that to make sure it's executed both effectively and securely.
100%.
Because there's no point investing all the money in the tools and
please secure it. To come back to what is cybersecurity, it's a very fast-moving landscape.
This will all be out of date by the time this comes out.
I mean, Mythos 5.1 will be out next week, and it won't even need computers anymore. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, it's an incredibly fast-moving environment with tons of moving parts, and yeah, we're doing our best.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for that in-depth discussion. We'll go back to the drink before we sign off. What do you think of this one?
It's actually not too bad. I mean, it's valid. It's not as sweet as that last one.
Yeah, it's. I was sipping on it because I was thirsty because we were talking for a longer amount of time. But I keep getting like stickiness. It's like not the best for a conversation like this.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I was hoping, because I love cherry as a flavour, that it was going to be a bit more. I don't know. You know the sour cherry sweets you can get? I was expecting that. It's not quite there. But I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'll go that middle ground.
But what do you think? What, you score it at 5?
Yeah,
10?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4 for me. It's.
That is it.
Yeah. I'm not quite as good as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad this is our last recording for the day, and I don't have to have another one of these for a while. I'm very grateful. I mentioned it before, we keep talking about maybe doing coffee or something next time.
Yeah.
Maybe let us know if you want us to try coffee or something else. I think caffeine related is always good for keeping us security people awake, but it could be anything. And also let us know if you enjoyed this long form discussion, if you want to see more podcasts like this, or if you prefer the slightly shorter 20 minutes, or if you prefer even shorter. We won't be insulted, just tell us what you prefer. Thank you again, Matt. As I said, we have all kinds of services at Landall that can help you with your cybersecurity, AI, consulting, IT services, print management, all sorts of things. So check out our website and our LinkedIn for details on that. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.